Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 6, A Fractured House. I love this episode. I thought it was really great the way that it ended. And I think the reason I enjoyed it so much is because I wasn't expecting the ending that we got for this one. I thought it was just going to be another crappy mission that the guys had to take on because Hydra's getting smarter and smarter. They have these crazy cool weapons, which I thought were really sweet when they used them in this episode. And I love how they implemented them in the actual title shot where it disintegrated the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. title. I thought that looked pretty cool. But they frame S.H.I.E.L.D., so S.H.I.E.L.D. has to go out and kind of make things right again. And they always have to do it. It's like, hey, we're trying to show you guys we are the good guys, and Hydra's bad. We're good. And they go to Talbot all the time, and it's like he's stubborn and he won't realize it. And finally, in this episode, we get to see that S.H.I.E.L.D. is safe. They are actually working with the government by the end of this episode, and I really, really loved that. I thought it was really great because they finally see like S.H.I.E.L.D. is good, Hydra's bad. Like we aren't the bad guys, and it was just a great way to end this episode. And there was a lot of cool stuff happening in it. Like it wasn't just the ending that I enjoyed, but it was a great ending that I really wasn't expecting. I thought they would just solve the issue and be like, hey, and they would just prove that it wasn't S.H.I.E.L.D. that did it in the episode, and that would pretty much be it. They'd still be going through the same sort of cycles, trying to prove we can sneak into all these different places. We don't do bad things though. Like we could easily kill you guys, but we don't. And I thought they would kind of just have to go through the motions again because that's what they've been going through for quite some time now, trying to prove that S.H.I.E.L.D. is good. And we finally get to see the end of this crazy battle of being like, hey, it's three different sides of a war when there should really only be two, good versus evil. And now there are only two sides, and it's S.H.I.E.L.D. as well as the government versus Hydra. So it was really great to get that ending. We got to see some really funny moments. We got some dramatic moments. The action in this episode was really good as well. So overall, I really, really enjoyed it. We got to see I think my favorite funny stuff was, of course, Hunter and Bobby just having their back and forth was really good. And throughout the entire episode, I really enjoyed it. I'm sure Hunter's going to end up staying because he's kind of just that dynamic for the series. I don't think they're going to let him go. He might, be here and there in certain episodes. He might come in and then leave out and eventually just decide, like, all right, I like you guys, and he'll end up staying with S.H.I.E.L.D. But I hope he doesn't go. I really like his character. He is a good fighter, so he's useful to the team. He's funny on the team. He's like the sarcastic guy. Even when he's playing his role, he's just like the silly guy coming in like, hey, here, have a beer. So I like his character. Of course, the dynamic between him and Bobby is just going to continue to be great, I think, if he does end up staying with S.H.I.E.L.D. The stuff with Bobby and May when they were on the bus, I thought that was pretty funny too. And she's like, were you ever married? Which we find out May was married in this episode. And when she asks, like, you ever talk to him, or you still talk to him, she just looks like, are you serious? Like, no, I don't. So I thought that was a really cool little scene too. The action in this was really good throughout the entire thing, I thought, especially that end fight with May versus the guy. He had like the cool knife on a chain. It made me think of the movie Ninja Assassin. If you've never seen that, just look it up. That's the thing they do. And it was just kind of funny. It looked really cool and stuff. And she like beats the guy up. Hunter and Bobby take on like 5 people at once, which was really cool. So I enjoyed all that stuff. Everything they did in this, like, honestly, I think it was really well done. We got to see like the stuff with Ward. I still don't know what to believe. Like, as crazy as he is, it's hard to know when someone's really good or bad. Like, I would have to assume Ward was lying, but I don't know. Maybe he's just genuinely crazy, or he is trying to manipulate people. Because you never know. I mean, he was like hitting his head and stuff when he got captured by S.H.I.E.L.D. He was like hurting himself physically. So that type of thing is just mentally, he's not completely stable. So he could come up with certain things where it's like, I left my family to go to Hydra, so I have to mentally come up with a reason for this. And that was even before Hydra, where he lied about that. So, he was just kind of crazy in general. But I enjoyed that. Him escaping at the end was really cool. And it was funny because when he was working out in the beginning of this episode, the first thing I noticed was how he was messing with his thumb. And the first thing I thought was, is he breaking his thumb right now? Like is he breaking it and then just moving it back just to, like, be really crazy and weird? Is that, like, his thing? And then in the end of the episode, we see why he was training every day. He was waiting for his chance to get transferred. He was waiting for the chance where they were going to move to a new facility for whatever reason. And it's like, all right, we have to put him in handcuffs and stuff and transfer him to this next place so he doesn't, put the bag over his head, handcuff him so he doesn't know where we're going. And he escapes in this episode, and he doesn't even have to go up against, Shield's agents. So he's just going up against FBI agents and just with machine guns. And I think there are maybe three people in there, and he just took them out in a couple of seconds. And he's just out. He's gonna be out doing his thing. I don't know if he's gonna run to someone. Maybe he'll end up going to Sky's father, which would be really amazing to see that happen. Because then, of course, he'd instantaneously be transitioned right back into Hydra since her father's working with Hydra now. So I'm excited to see what craziness goes down with that. He might even go after his brother. I don't know, like if he would still fear him or if he'd rather have like his form of revenge, which would of course be out of this made up story, which could technically still be true. Like you never really know. He wasn't talking to Sky when he was telling that story, so he could have easily been lying to Coulson. But I feel like if Sky was there, it could have been different. But he might go after him for revenge. He might just go back to Hydra. Who knows what he's gonna be doing? But I'm excited to see him in like crazy ward mode where he's just escaped and he has pretty much free reign to do whatever he wants. He can hide, he can go to certain people, he can attack whoever he wants. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. We had some really great emotional stuff with Fitz and Simmons, which was just really good. I was hoping for that last week, but it was just kind of the introduction to it. And in this episode, we really got to see it, and it was just kind of heartbreaking. Like especially the part where they kind of concluded that portion of the episode where Simmons was talking to Mac, and he was like, it seems like you do want him to be someone else because he told me how he told you all his feelings and you bailed, and he said like she was making him worse. Like as bad as he might be, she's the only thing that really makes him worse, and she knows that, and she says that's the reason she left. And I thought that was a really good scene. I thought it was like she wants to do so much to help him, but it's like she knows that when she says she wants him to be himself, she does mean she wants him to be his old self. And she tries to hide that, but she's not good at it because she's not a good liar. And I really love that. And it's like she knows that she's not able to hide that from Fitz himself. And she just wants him to be himself, like his old self. But at the same time, she just wants to try to make him better, but she can't exactly do that either. So I really enjoyed that. I don't know how long it's going to take for her to really be able to transition into accepting him as he is currently, but I really enjoy the way it's going now. Like even she's been kind of taken down by this where he's trying to make things better for himself as well. And I loved his scene when he was like, I'm trying to be the old me, but I'm just not. Like I am different now, but I'm trying not to be, and I can see that you want me not to be. So like everything about their relationship is very different, and I really enjoyed it. It was great to see Mac and Fitz talk again in this episode too. Like they're just laughing and stuff, and even he could say like half the stuff he says is nonsense, and they just laugh about it. And it was really great to see that. And Simmons seemed like she was kind of on the outside of what she used to be, the second half of. So it was really cool to see that. I'd love to see them become like a trio where Mac is able to help them both mend their ways and kind of get back together and be the way they used to be, even with Fitz being different. But I'm sure it'll take a little bit of time, so I'm excited to see that play out too. But I loved this episode. I thought it had pretty much everything you could want. It had all the great, emotional moments. It had good comedy moments. It had good action. It had a really cool ending where Ward actually does escape, which was very suspenseful. And we also got like the actual like final ending clip where we get to see the guy who is writing on that painting, like the random person who is, I guess, infected. I don't really know what to even call it, but he writes this map down, and he gets it tattooed on him, and it helps him remember something. I don't know, but we got to see him in this episode, so he's getting things done. And of course, the preview for I guess 2 weeks from now seems like it's really gonna focus on the writing. I hope we get some answers out of that. They showed some flashes here and there of the alien stuff, so I'm excited to see what answers we get, what questions are gonna come up, because I feel like we're gonna get like maybe an answer and a half, and it'll add like five other questions. But I'm excited for that one. The final thing I have to note is that we did get to see the little scene for the Avengers. Like the official trailer, I guess, leaked last week, so it was supposed to be this week, but they're like, I guess they knew like, well, the whole thing leaked, so we have to show something different. We got to see the little scene where everyone's trying to pick up Thor's hammer. They're having a little party and stuff. I love that scene for like one reason only, and it's because Captain America made the hammer move like a tiny, tiny bit, and Thor saw it move. So I love that they kind of introduced the fact that it could happen. I don't know if they'll ever do that in the movies. I would love to see it happen. I doubt it'll happen in the Avengers too, but it would be pretty cool if it did for whatever reason. But it was so funny. Like they're, Iron Man's trying to do it. He gets the arm. He has Rhodes come in and help him out. Captain America comes in and it moves like a tiny bit. And Thor's just laughing. He's like, ha, and it just stops. Like he was just like, nope, that's real serious because that's not supposed to happen. So I really love that scene, and the rest of it was just kind of like the second half of the trailer, which was fine. But I enjoyed that. I really thought it was a cool little sneak peek, and I'm excited for the movie. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you guys are too if you're even watching the show. But this was a great episode. I love the preview. I'm really excited for the little Marvel retrospective thing they're going to be doing next week. So I'm excited for that. We also got to see the commercial for the Agent Carter series, which is going to be, I believe they said, an 8-part mini series, which is going to happen once Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. goes off for the winter season, like sort of the holiday season. So that'll be really cool. I'm excited for that to show up, and it's not going to be super long or anything. They have their set story, 8 episodes, 8 hours, and then it's done. So that'll be really cool, a nice tight knit story, and I'm sure it'll tie into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in multiple ways as far as just what happens and everything. Maybe even villains, like maybe Whitehall will be in there, and we'll get some sort of backstory on him, how he used to be during those days. But I love the episode. Excited for everything coming up. I think this was probably my favorite one so far. I had a great ending, the resolutions, emotional stuff, comedy, action. It was all really well done. Suspenseful, like 2 little suspenseful clips at the end. So I think everything was great for this episode. But comment below, let me know what you guys thought about it, your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And with everything that happened in this episode, what was your favorite moment? Like, especially with the ending scenes, was the resolution between S.H.I.E.L.D. and the government your favorite part, or was Ward escaping your favorite part? I think for me personally, it has to be just the government thing. Working with S.H.I.E.L.D. is just great because for one, it's them not having to jump through all these hoops over and over again, so that won't be an issue anymore. From now on, it will strictly be we need to find Hydra and take out Hydra. It won't be we have to hide whenever we're sneaking into this famous thing like they had to do when they thought Talbot was at the one thing and it actually ended up being Hydra. But I love the resolution more than anything because it's going to change so much for the universe, and it'll even affect some of the stuff that happens in the films because it'll be like, hey, S.H.I.E.L.D. can do this stuff because they resolved it in the show. So I think that's what I'm excited for most. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys are excited for the most out of this episode. And thanks for watching.